up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about should the Houston Rockets consider trading Chris Paul or James Harden and possibly trade with the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James. So let's see what they have to say about that.
But we live in a world right now, I truly think a unique time in the NBA where crazy trade ideas are not crazy. And it's all because of one reason. Because LeBron James is with the Lakers. And what I mean by that is one of the world's greatest players, and in some estimation still the greatest player on the planet, is on a franchise where the timeline for competition doesn't match up with his age. Everybody on the Lakers that matters, part of that young core, is 4, 5, 6 years off. LeBron is now. So if that's the case, there's nothing crazy. So I just want to ask you guys this, okay? If what Woj tweeted is true and all players are really available and the Rockets have seen their ceiling and they include James Harden in the all players are available, tell me why this trade makes no sense. Tell me where it fails. Tell me who says no. James Harden to LA for LeBron James to Houston. LeBron goes to Houston. He gets his win now window back. He plays with CP3. He's on a team that can contend. James Harden, while older than the rest of that young core, immediately puts the Lakers into the playoffs, into contention, and has a longer window to develop Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and whoever else they want to bring in free agent-wise. I know the minute that you mention LeBron in trade, everybody sees no's and goes, that's crazy. But just tell me, and I'm open, fellas. Ryan, you and I talked about this the other day on the Will Kane show.
I'll tell you, Will.
Tell me.
So let me jump in there real quick. So I would only trade LeBron James as an absolute last resort. An absolute last resort would you trade LeBron James, because even though I get on LeBron James, he is one of the top players in the NBA still right now. And as far as, you know, like I said, he'd have to be a last resort. We'd have to take care of everything in-house. Rob Pelinka's fired. We got a new staff. Everything has to be going wrong with the coach, Frank Vogel. I would trade LeBron James as a last resort after everything else has been fixed. And if it still is not going to work, or we're in his third year, excuse me, I would definitely, that'd be a last resort to trade LeBron James to the Houston Rockets. As far as getting James Harden to the Lakers, so the Rockets don't want to trade James Harden because he's just not good, or he's not, you know, things just aren't working. They're trading him because he chokes. So why would I want to get James Harden exchanged for LeBron James? James Harden can't win. It's not like he can't win because he's just not good or he won't be able to do it. He chokes in the playoffs. He's a good player. He can play, but he chokes in the playoffs. LeBron James doesn't choke in the playoffs. If anything, he can get you to the finals. He may get beat, but he's not necessarily going to choke like what James Harden does. So James Harden's loss in value is because he chokes in the playoffs. So it might not matter where he goes. He's going to choke in the playoffs. It doesn't matter. So trading him with LeBron James, I'd rather keep LeBron James because I know he at least won't choke. He has other problems going along with him, which is why I'd make it be a last resort to trade him. But I wouldn't trade LeBron James for James Harden when James Harden is known to choke, because he'll do that here. And the same thing with Chris Paul. I think what the Houston Rockets need to do is keep the group that they have, because they've been giving the best look to the Golden State Warriors for the past couple years. Last year, took them to Game 7. This year, they went to Game 6, even though Kevin Durant wasn't there. But they've given Golden State Warriors the best look. So I would keep their core with James Harden and Chris Paul and try to figure out what it is. What is that little tweak that they need to do to get past the Golden State Warriors? Because they're there. They're there. It's just they need to figure out why does James Harden keeps choking. If they can figure that out, I think they'll be good. And definitely won't trade LeBron James for them, because, you know, that could be, you don't know how that could work out. So let's keep going.
Why it makes no sense.
Okay, I don't know. It's not that it makes no sense. It's an interesting idea. The issue is the coaching. You know, James Harden with Vogel, I don't love that idea, but I think it actually does make some sense. But it's a little bit more fantastical, I think, than is realistically what's going to happen. Daryl Morey, after all, just said everyone other than James Harden, right? So if we take him at his word, the news to me is not even CP3 is available. CP3 is available. He has a long and bad contract, and he's in decline. And he's old. So, of course, he's available. The interesting thing to me is not that. And I also laud Daryl Morey for saying, okay, we've hit a wall. We're going to have to do something here. What's interesting to me is Clint Capella's available, and PJ Tucker's available. And all those kind of guys are available. by the way, in order to move that CP3 contract. But the way they frame it in the press is the way Daryl Morey will push it out there. Hey, even CP3's available. Like, of course he is. They'd love to get out of that deal. And they're going to have to use their other assets to do it. And by the way, again, the news to me is Daryl Morey's open for business.
Quickly,
Call him
Ryan,
about anyone but James Harden.
Again, I would not trade LeBron James for James Harden or Chris Paul because at the very least, LeBron James can get you to the finals and he won't choke. He may get beat, but he won't choke. But if you get James Harden, his issue of playing is not the issue. The issue is he's good to choke when it counts. And I wouldn't make that. That's not a good gamble. That's not a good gamble to take LeBron James or to switch LeBron James when you know he won't choke versus a guy who's a known choker, but he can still play because there's other problems there with James Harden. There's other problems there with having him choke. So whether it's mental, he gets scared or what, but he can play, but his other problem is choking. That's not the case with LeBron James, and that would be a stupid trade. Even if I did trade LeBron James, I'd get more than James Harden for one in a bigger package. And for two, I just wouldn't do it. Let's keep going.
Ryan, I just want to clarify, Max. According to Woj's tweet, it says all players and picks are available in talks. It's just hard to imagine a James Harden scenario.
Got it. I thought he excluded Harden, but I agree. In that case, nothing would be off the table, and there's much about Harden for LeBron that makes sense.
So, Will, we did talk about this, and here's the reality. If you trade Harden for LeBron James, neither team necessarily improves. Obviously, Houston would get a little better, but I think both those guys in Houston is understanding we need help for James Harden. LA is saying we need help for LeBron James. Why? You've got to compete with the Warriors, with Kevin Durant or without Kevin Durant. You need to have a star cast. Now, amidst the nonsense in Los Angeles, Will Kane, amidst all the trade talks and we are willing to move on from LeBron James, which is insane for me, I reached out to his people, and the first thing that was said, there's no way, there's not a chance, we are not looking to move. We love LA. We are committed. Magic Johnson could be gone. People could be asking to get rid of LeBron James, whether they believe or not. LeBron is deep rooted in LA.
It ain't about basketball.
But Ryan, to be clear.
So definitely, like I said before, I'll get rid of LeBron. Trading LeBron James would definitely be a last resort. I would take care of everything else that's happening. And if LeBron James still isn't working out, I'll probably think about trading him, especially maybe after the third year, because obviously in year two, the coming up year, they're going to have to, make some moves, get in an all-star, clean up whatever's going on in-house with Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, and all that. So get all that iron out, because you'd be stupid to trade LeBron James, and you still have other problems going on, because you never know. Those could be the main problems, and once you get those fixed, things might start working with LeBron James. So I would take care of in-house stuff. If you're going to think about trading him, have it be the last resort, maybe on his third year of his contract, which would be in 2 years, versus James Harden. Like I said, he's got a bunch of other problems going on other than him being able to play, because he can play. If a guy chokes, that's going to be kind of hard to get past. And as far as the Houston Rockets, like I said before, they should just keep the guys that they have, because to me, they've given the Golden State Warriors the best look out of anybody that they played and have a chance to beat them. They had them on the ropes last year with Game 7. This year, they had them, but it was choke city, but they still gave the best look. They just need to find, if they can get another all-star to go to the Houston Rockets, they'll have a way more better chance, obviously, a way more better chance of taking care of the Golden State Warriors. And they just need to find whatever it is that they need to tweak to get James Harden playing like the superstar he can be, that he is during the regular season. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
LeBron does not have a no-trade clause. So LeBron may want to be in LA. This is about what's better for the two franchises. And I think you just agreed with me that LeBron on the Rockets would make the Rockets better. And Ryan, listen,
when it matters most.
Ryan, you and I joke around a lot, and I go with you, but I know you know your basketball. And we talked about this when it comes to Giannis. The system that Milwaukee built was the LeBron system. Drive, penetrate, dish. Surround him with shooters. Wouldn't LeBron fit Houston pretty well?
Understand this, though. Harden is younger. He wouldn't want to put that pounding on his body for the regular season. He would need a supporting cast.
Ryan,
yes,
who would say no?
He wouldn't.
Who are you saying
Ryan,
would
he
say
wouldn't
no?
have to
LA
put the pounding on his body, because they wouldn't need to win 60 games. LeBron would make the playoffs with that squad.
Who says no to that deal, Ryan?
Now, Max, look, LA would say, yeah, we'll take James Harden. We'll move forward. They may be willing to do that or at least entertain it. Some people in the front office split. Some say yes, some say no. Is it realistic? I don't believe it's happening.
It's not. Why would you have it's the same scenarios. Get rid of LeBron James for James Harden. You ever know he can play, like I said, but he chokes. So that's not going to really make you any better no matter who you surround James Harden with, because he's going to choke. Being a good player and scoring and all that, that's not his problem. His other problem is choking in the playoffs. Now, for LeBron James to go to the Houston Rockets, if you get somebody else to play with him, you'd have a better chance of LeBron being paired up with somebody else and making the playoffs and going deeper than you would trading LeBron James and getting somebody else. Like I said, trading LeBron James should be the last resort. They should worry about that once they've got another star to play with him, whether it's Jimmy Butler or whoever else. They take care of the problems in-house. And then if you still have problems with LeBron James, get rid of him. But LeBron James has the better upside and the easier thing to take care of and fix. He just needs some help. So whatever is going on behind closed doors, that doesn't really affect the play on the court. I know getting players in and all that type of stuff, but once LeBron James gets the player that he needs, the backup that he needs, they can run it from there. Whatever's going on in the office is whatever. It doesn't really matter. But if you get James Harden, you already know what you're going to get. You know he's a baller, but he's going to choke. And that's harder to fix and take care of, even if he has a supporting cast, because he has a supporting cast with Chris Paul, who's a relative star, if you will. And he still can't get it done because he's choking. So keep LeBron James, get somebody there with him, take care of in-house problems, and it looks like they probably will be doing good. So, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Here's who might say no. Here's who might say no. James Harden may try to throw something up in resistance to that because of the coaching staff in LA, which appears dysfunctional. Vogel with Kidd right below him. But I think, who says no question is interesting, Will, because if no one says no, then what's to stop it? Right. And it's an interesting idea. Here's another advantage of your idea, is Harden goes into a situation where maybe other players don't mind so much playing with James Harden. As you hear, people don't want to be overshadowed by LeBron. And the Lakers don't have cap issues, and they have a young core and fungible, tradable assets to build around Harden.
Exactly, Max.
Well, actually, what they should do is, like I said, the Houston Rockets should keep their core guys. Well, they should keep James Harden and Chris Paul because they're very close to taking care of business with Golden State Warriors. Clean out everybody else if you want. Get rid of Capella. Get rid of all those other guys. Get rid of them and see if you can trade those guys for another big star, a Jimmy Butler type caliber type star. Not a superstar, but somebody along his level. And I bet you they will be able to move forward a little bit better than just getting rid of James Harden. That would make them more better because that take the pressure off James Harden having to be, as good as he is, even though Chris Paul is there. And Chris Paul didn't really do that much during this playoffs. But if they have that third person, I think they can do a lot more better because they're very close. They're giving the Golden State Warriors the best look I've seen out of any teams, and a better look than I think the Toronto Raptors are going to give Golden State in the finals. So they just need to tweak it. And as far as the Lakers, keep LeBron James and see if you can get somebody else to play with them. Take care of in-house problems, and I think that should be okay. So let's keep going.
They bring in
from Los Angeles.
It's a 2-for-1 deal for the Lakers, essentially. Bring in Harden, and now you have a bigger free agent pool to come play with you if, in fact, guys don't want to play with LeBron.
But and LeBron and CP3, now you don't have to move the CP3 deal because that works also.
You've got to hear the very first thing I said. LeBron and his camp would say no. They are committed to LA. So the last thing
Yeah, but he may be committed to LA, but let there keep on be problems. Let this same type of season happen next year and still have all the same problems in-house. I bet you he can get traded. They can go ahead and trade him. Even if they have to take a hit on money, they can trade him. So you may want to stay there, but we don't want you because we'll be better off without you. It'd be addition by subtraction by getting rid of LeBron James. Some people are saying doing that now, but it doesn't matter if LeBron James likes it. You can get traded. They'll get rid of you to get somebody else. So let's keep going.
Would want to do is bring on a guy and a star who would not want to be there. Now,
why wouldn't Harden want to be in LA where he's from?
I didn't say Harden. I said LeBron wouldn't want to be in Houston.
Well, you think he's not going to ball?
That's just a fact.
You think he's not going to ball with CP3? LeBron's going to ball regardless.
Is CP3 going to be healthy for an entire season? This isn't young Chris Paul.
And Chris Paul, you can't say he's a baller because he didn't ball with James Harden. How many? I think he had a couple games where he only had like 10 points. And like 7 assists. So to say that Chris Paul's all of a sudden going to start balling because LeBron James is there, you can't I wouldn't necessarily bet on that because he didn't do it with James Harden in his last playoffs. And in the playoffs before that, he was hurt. So I would not. His game's not automatically just add on 10 points and 10 whatever to his averages because he's playing with LeBron James, because he didn't do it with James Harden. So I don't see how that would be a talking point or a factor that would bring up with LeBron James playing with Chris Paul. So let's keep going.
In New Orleans, Chris Paul.
When it matters most,
Chris Paul.
Ryan, are they going to miss the playoffs? They ain't missing the playoffs. And once they get there, LeBron and CP3 will do what they got to do.
And Ryan, listen, I know. You know what is more realistic than anything? No. Everybody can come to the conclusion of no. Big ideas, big trades. The most logical thing that happens is nothing that happens. I get it. But Ryan, let me tell you something. LeBron James at some point might want to come to the conclusion, might want to take a look in the mirror that the dysfunction in LA is going to impede his own personal career on the court. It will impede his own personal pursuit of a championship. And if he can come to